Hello, and welcome to Palindrome ASMR. Today I'm going to be tapping on these minion Q-tips and probably going to be cleaning my own ears. I always enjoy the feeling of sticking one of these cotton swabs up my ear, which it says specifically, caution, do not insert swab in ear canal. But how else am I supposed to get that nasty earwax out? I won't show you any earwax, that's gross. I'm just going to be playing around for a tactile sensation. You get, it's part of the psychological condition. When someone else feels something, you feel that same thing on yourself. It's impossible to avoid. That's why watching someone get hurt is so painful. But that's also why I'm going to be tickling my own ears with cotton swabs. Probably. If I decide not to, I won't. Maybe I'll just tickle them around the microphone instead. Because now that I think of it, it's a little bit weird to watch someone tickle their own ears with cotton swabs. If any one of you wants to see that, I don't know why, but if any one of you wants to see that, by all means, hit me up in the comments below and say, hey, I want to watch you tickle your ears with cotton swabs, but I'm going to be tickling the microphone instead, I've decided. Because this microphone represents your ears. And having someone else tickle your ears is always, it's actually a traditional Chinese form of pleasure. So like in China, it's traditional for people to get massages and get their ears tickled. It feels very good. You know, putting anything, any pointy object, if you lightly touch your face with it, it feels really good. I don't know why. There's a lot of nerves in the face. But if you have a pointy object like a pencil or a conductor's baton and you touch your cheeks with it or your forehead or under your nose, it feels like surprisingly pleasurable. I've done it sometimes and I've watched other people do it when they probably weren't even thinking about it. I'm also drinking some tea. Now, to be honest, I don't like the current quality of my videos. I think I need to put more work into this channel. I need to get better equipment. I need to do better editing, do better performance in general. But I realize that that stuff will only come with time. I'm going to hate all of my old videos a year from now if I still do this. That's just a little, I think, something I just want to do is get better at this craft. I think the more I do this, the better it'll become. So, before I dive into this, I want to give a PSA about my current favorite new anime called Stella no Maho, The Magic of Stella. It's a game, an anime about a bunch of high school girls making a video game. And I have to say, I really like the character designs and the voice actor for the protagonist, Honda. her voice actress is just right there. I like it. She does a really good performance and makes the character shine, and she has a lot of personality in her performance, and I think it's pretty cool. I mean, the rest of the show is, it's just a moe blob, slice of life show. It got a 6.92 on my enemy list, which is below average. Not bad, but below average. But I personally am loving the show. I really like the show for some reason. It just speaks to me on an emotional level, and I really like it. So I don't know why I wanted to talk about that. I just, when you like things, you talk about them. But I'm going to be opening the Minions. I know, right? I got this at the dollar store. I think the reason why they were at the dollar store is because they're Minions, and the Minions are like half a year gone. Maybe even a year now. That's why they were at the dollar store instead of the regular store. This may be a little bit too caustic and sharp for proper relaxation, but look at that. They're all packed tightly in there. Sorry, my nose itched. I'm not going to edit that out because I explained this before, but number one, I don't like listening to my own voice, and number two, I don't have the right editing software to do soft edits of things. That feels surprisingly good. The soft touch of that cotton. Let's try two. Minions are everywhere, to be honest. I mean, Minion cotton swabs? Holy moly, that's crazy. Minion cotton swabs? I mean, Despicable Me, Minion made. Illumination Entertainment. Minion cotton swabs. I think the world has gone a little bit too far off the deep end in this case. But I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making weird faces because I made one weird face and it would be awkward to leave that weird face alone. Here we go. Here's something to talk about. When you do something, this is making me laugh, but when you do something weird and someone catches you doing it, and you just keep doing that weird thing to make it less awkward, you just keep doing that weird thing. Like if you were like scrunching up your nose and someone catches you, you do it a couple more times to make it seem like awkward. Like, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. I don't know why this is making me laugh, but I just find it to be funny. Cotton is an amazing plant, I think. Personally, I think cotton is up there with, I don't know. I just think it's an amazing plant. I don't know what it's with, what to classify it with. But a plant that grows clothing, I mean, what is that? A plant that grows wool. If you didn't know about cotton and all you had was wool, and you go to this strange new land and discover a plant that bears wool, you think, what is this? What is this craziness? This weird plant that bears the same stuff that sheep bear. These little balls of fluff. And then Eli Whitney comes along and invents the cotton gin, as we all know, starting the cotton revolution. Before the cotton gin, see, cotton actually surrounds these little seeds. And I don't know what it's for. I don't know why the cotton surrounds the seeds. You'll have to look it up. But cotton surrounds these seeds. And it's really hard to separate the cotton from the seeds because there's so little cotton for each seed. And so separating cotton from seeds was very labor intensive before the invention of the cotton gin. But once the cotton gin was invented, these seeds could be easily separated from the cotton, thus kickstarting pretty much the entire Industrial Revolution, to be honest. Because a good portion of the Industrial Revolution was the production of textiles, which is to say cloth out of cotton, and that was like the big driving force. Steel and cotton. The making of steel and the making of textiles were like the two big Industrial Revolution things. People made lots of steel and they made lots of cloth. And that's what drove the Industrial Revolution's power. So, you could say without cotton, the Industrial Revolution would have turned out a lot differently. But to think of it, iron is really quite the interesting metal as well. It's so common and yet it's so useful. Come to think of it, wood is awesome. Wood is very plentiful, but at the same time there are so many uses for it. Wood is everywhere. And at the same time, it's in everything. You can't go anywhere without finding wood of some sort. You know, it's like paper, it's products, it's houses, it's fire material. I mean, you can burn it, you can build with it, you can write on it, you can do various other things with it. It's like the all-purpose tool. It's like someone actually invented it and placed it on this planet, saying, these humans, they're going to find it very useful. I'm actually not a creationist. I don't believe in, well, let's say I'm an agnostic, actually. An agnostic. I don't know what happened before time, and I can't claim to know, and I think the scientists have the best bet, but all they can explain is up to the Big Bang. And then you ask them what happened before the Big Bang, and they say, we don't know. I personally have my own pet theory about how the universe came into existence. It actually, I think, here is the theory that was revealed to me during my psychosis. It's a very interesting theory. It states that before there was anything, there was nothing, and this nothing was expressed in this nothing at first was nothing, but before long, things started to happen in this nothing, and spontaneously, somethings would appear, but these somethings weren't anything. They were actually just particles annihilating each other. So it's like, it's out of the nothing came something, but this something was nothing because it was an equation that all summed to zero. So basically what happened was there was this sea of equations that all summed to zero, and the equations were basically subatomic particles appearing and then disappearing, annihilating each other, like the stuff that causes Hawking radiation. And this stuff does not have an origin. It is nothing. And so it doesn't have to have been created. It was just in existence, but not in existence at the same time. But then what happened was that the equations started getting longer and more complicated. They still summed to zero, but they started getting more complicated. And then one day, one of these equations got so long and so complicated that it messed up. There was a miscalculation in the equation. Because it was so long and so complicated, there was a miscalculation, and a elementary particle popped out into existence. And that's how the Big Bang started. That's what caused the Big Bang. It was this massive, complex, zero-sum equation that suddenly screwed up, and boom, out popped the universe. And every time one of those equations screws up, boom, out pops another universe in multiverse theory. So there's an infinite number of universes because there's an infinite number of those equations screwing up. Now, I do not attest to the reliability of that claim. It was revealed to me when I was in the middle of a cosmic consciousness psychotic breakdown. And you can probably, obviously I do not know anything about physics. I do not know anything about the possibility of that. It's just the musings of a crazy person. But that's what was revealed to me. And, some people take revelations like that from other people just as seriously as, some people take divine revelation very seriously. Like 50% of the human population takes that kind of revelation like a random guy. Suddenly, boom, God sends him a message and says, "All right, buddy, listen up here. This is how I created the universe. I created it in 7 days. created humans on the sixth day, and I rested on the seventh. And then I think it was Moses, and Moses goes, all right. And then, like, he goes down, hey guys, God just appeared to me and told me how he created the universe. And all the Israelites go, oh really? All right, that's great. And they believe him. Now imagine what would happen if someone came up with that idea now. Well, you don't have to imagine, because your reaction to the explanation I gave for the real creation of the universe tells all. I'm just saying, I don't like Christianity or Islam because of how hypocritical these people are. They accept divine revelation as truth, but when someone comes along and divinely reveals something, they go, you're crazy, you deserve to be in a mental institution. Hey, guess what? That's what they said to Jesus. Oh! I mean, if Jesus came today, he wouldn't be killed. He would be incarcerated. No, he would be sent to a mental institution and medicated. They would give him Zyprexa and lithium, and they would give him Seroquel and Latuda and all of these other medications. And then Jesus would go and go on living his life as Jesus, dude, and God would be like, hey, Jesus. And Jesus would be like, I can't hear you. I'm on medication. Yeah. And then, like, where would the death and resurrection be then? But it is my theory that Jesus has been coming back on a fairly regular basis for the past 2,000 years, and no one has realized it. Like, I think Jesus has come back maybe over 1 million times, like literally 1 million times in the past 2 millennia. And again, people reject him. Now, do not take this as me saying I am Jesus Christ. No, I am not. I do not claim to be. I do not want to be associated with that sort of tomfoolery. I do not claim to be anyone important. I do not claim to know anything. All I am doing is rambling about my crazy, psychotic delusions. They're not really delusions, they're just musings. But I am not claiming to be Jesus Christ. I am not claiming to be anywhere near any of that. I am washing my hands and distancing myself from that sort of association. Because only crazy people claim to be Jesus Christ. Yeah, only crazy people claim to be Jesus Christ. Only crazy people claim to be the Son of God. You know what that look means. It means a whole lot. But I did have a period where there was a lot of divine revelation to me. Like, a lot of things got divinely revealed to me about the workings of the universe. For example, one thing that was divinely revealed to me was that light is actually comprised of two particles. I named them Yui and Yuri because I was crazy. But light is comprised of two particles, each with a female spin. So male spins are like they're in one direction. They go like shh, but female spins go like I don't know the scientific basis of any of that, but light is not one particle, but rather an electric particle and a magnetic particle. Or rather, light has two identities, electricity and magnetism. They are not the same thing. Electromagnetism is a misnomer. The electricity and the magnetism are separate forces, each one with its own identity, each one interacting with the other, but not on the same plane with the other. And they are both represented by a female particle, a particle with a female spin circling around another particle with a female spin. And it's two particles. Each photon is two particles. And another thing that was divinely revealed to me is the fact that electrons are actually quantum sine waves. Electrons are actually waves of quantum probability going backwards in time. That idea might take a little bit of time to explain, but basically there is no electron. Electricity is literally waves. There are no electrons. Electricity is literally like flowing water, but the water is probability. And this probability of the electron being there flows through the wire, and when it's observed, you can see the individual electrons. But when it's not being observed, the electrons are actually just a big single probability wave. This is all the ravings of a lunatic, to be honest with you. I have fully accepted that this stuff is the ravings of a lunatic. The ravings of a lunatic. The fact that I'm talking about it means that I don't actually. I mean, I think it's interesting, but the ideas hold no water, so to speak. The ideas hold no water because they are not informed. It takes a PhD in these subjects to come up with something new. That's what I firmly believe, because I was beaten by the difficulty of learning heavy stuff. Engineering, it basically beat me and showed me a truth in life, which is that there are some things that really do require an education to understand, and physics is one of those things. So I hope you enjoyed my ramble, the ramblings of a crazy person. He needs to be on his medication. He needs to be on his medication. But that's it, just the ramblings of a crazy person. I hope you enjoyed me tactilely playing with these with these cotton swabs. If you liked them, leave a comment and I'll bring them back. But that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, you're amazing. Check out my books. I've written 9 of them. 5, 6 are on Kindle. You can get some of them for 99 cents, some of them for $2.99. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.